Yes, there he is. Another video from myamigolife.com. Let's take a look at what we have here as we turn down the music a little. Duke the dog, produced by Kenner back in the 70s, and went for the low price of $3.99 according to this box. Duke is the super action dog, and he comes with a canyon slide, of which we will see soon. Isn't this exciting, boys and girls? The set contains Duke, his canyon slide, and comic book. Well, here's the box. This box is a little beat up, but I was actually just got this in today, and I was actually quite excited to get the box. Look at this kid. Doesn't little Timmy look happy? Timmy! And so, the back of our box, Duke in his adventure world becomes a real hero within the wonderful world of a child's imagination. These Duke Super Action sets shown here are especially exciting, or especially designed to increase the imaginative fun everyone can have with Duke. Each exciting set contains different durable, moving working parts, and with a child's help can be activated as shown. Well, let's see, we got the rescue unit, Duke's rescue unit, which is just the rescue unit, but it comes with Duke the dog, Duke the Super Action dog, and Duke's HQ. So I'm happy to say I actually have the rescue unit, and I have an extra Duke, so I think mine actually came with a Duke, so it must have been the box set. Let's take a look at Duke. He's pretty much scaled for almost a G.I. Joe, maybe a $6 million man figure from Kenner back in the 70s. You know, as much as you say, wow, it's just a dog, this is not just any dog. This is Duke with movable tail, posable, movable legs, and so on. Head turns in all kinds of directions. Check him out on the box. Now, the one thing about Duke that's actually pretty cool, and it's going to be impossible to do with one hand, I think, but his mouth is spring-loaded. And for Duke's canyon slide, let's take a look at what we have. I did a little setup of this and did a little bit of a test, but I'm going to be very careful because, let's be realistic, this is a 40 to 50-year-old toy. So it's basically these plastic hooks with some twine. You get several hooks, you hook it between two, and the idea obviously is to put on Duke's slide and let him come down. So I really don't want to do this with one hand because if he falls, he's going to break into 1,000 pieces. But what we can do, let's see if we can set up this phone. Turn that around a little bit. Sorry for the crappy photography. I am not an expert in this. And let's see what we can do. So we can open his mouth. And I gotta get this shit inside Duke's mouth. Christ, it's hard to do with two hands, let alone one. All right, so Duke is ready to rock and roll. So what we're actually gonna do is Duke will go on here, the child, if you will, and I'm terrified this is gonna fall and break, so I don't really trust the spring. All right, let's see what happens. You ready? Oh yes, down he goes. And there goes Duke into his action pose. And we're going to take that off because that's about as far as we're going to let that go by itself. Now, before we get into the headquarters, this is actually the comic book that Duke came with. It's fantastic. Duke, the super action dog, fights the energy crisis. And there it is right there, 1974, General Mills Fund Group Incorporated, who I guess owned Kenner at the time. There's a little comic, shows you how to set up the action slide, hook it to a doorknob, hook it to a chair, and Duke goes sliding along. Now you can read this little comic, and for you comic book collectors, it's got that cool, crazy comic book art from the 70s that we've all come to love and enjoy. As you go through each page of this story, Duke's on a wild adventure with what looks like Timmy and Ranger Rick. I don't really know what their name is because I haven't read the comic yet. It just came in today. But let's get down to the last page as we're going through this. And you can see, as we get to the end, there it is. Get all these exciting Duke action sets available at your toy dealer. Kenner Products, and that's from Cincinnati, Ohio. The Duke Rescue Unit. There's the Duke Action Firefighter, he shoots water, and the Duke Headquarters. Now, here's the Duke instructions, which actually came with it. It didn't come with the box, but I'm excited to say it came with the instructions, and it looks like little Timmy and Johnny are having just a great old time. Wow. Now, let's take a look at this, and then I'm going to really divulge all the secrets, because like movies, This is quite the illusion. We've got the rock side, rock on top, the brick inside. You've got the periscope, which actually you can turn, and Duke can just stick his head right in there. We're not gonna take that. He can just stick his face in there as it spins around, and he can see what's going along outside, because you know dogs love periscopes. Periscope's up top. It's basically two plastic pieces that fit in this hole in the floor. We have his elevator. I'll demonstrate that in a minute. And then we have, of course, the other side. Now, you'll see there are these two little gray pieces. I don't know why they did them in gray when the wall is brown. That's okay. But I'm missing the two on the bottom. So let me explain what we have here. This, take a good look. It's styrofoam. It's painted styrofoam. It doesn't weigh shit. That's why when I got this box, I couldn't figure out why it was so light. This, ladies and gentlemen, is nothing more than regular corrugated cardboard. And I'll give you a look on the bottom so you can actually see. It's just cardboard. I mean, seriously, could you be any less cheap about what you're building? This dog isn't exactly light. And him sitting on top, I guess it's sturdy enough, but what happens to cardboard over time? It warps. So I would, and falls apart. So I wouldn't venture to guess that there's a ton of these sets left. One, because I don't know anybody who bought this set. Not that it's not cool for its time, but who wants the dog and a play set for this as a dude? Unless maybe you put your G.I. Joes in there. What other features does it have? Well, I'm glad you asked that, because inside we actually have Duke's cot, and if you open it up, there's storage in there. There's a couple extra pieces we put in there. Matter of fact, I just repaired this one, but it's not very strong. But you can see there's an arrow here. And I'm going to give you another look at what this is in a moment. This goes on, and all there is a hole in the cardboard for this bed to sit inside. Now, when you look up, you'll see one of those plastic arrows up here, which we showed the gray one on the outside. And there's another one over there. And what's this, you ask? That's right. It's a regular rubber band. So what you do is you would put one on the top, or two on the top, and two on the bottom, and run two rubber bands, and that would pull the pressure of the walls together so that they don't come apart, because all that is cardboard sitting in styrofoam. Pretty crazy. All right, let's check out Duke's elevator. I'm not putting him in there because I don't trust it. This literally is plastic clipped around the cardboard, top and bottom, and all you would do is put Duke on and turn the crank. When you turn the crank, or I guess you can just do this way, as I just learned. He goes down. You put this on, and you can bring Duke back up to the top. Raise him up. And then if you want Duke to go quickly, down elevator. And you can see it's just a clear little, it's like a piece of tape that pulls it up and down inside this little gearbox. It's all manual. Quite cool, and so on. Let's take a quick look at the back. And you'll see, again, I'm missing the ones down here, one on each side, but I have these. And those on the top are actually, right now, they're strong enough to hold it together so it doesn't come apart. But we probably really want that support on the bottom. I'm not too worried about the plastic pieces, because technically, you could probably put a paper clip, and you need a longer rubber band to go across. But you can see it's just folded cardboard. And it goes into these slots. It's pretty interesting. But inside, was actually pretty cool. They did a decent job of making this look like a high-tech, I guess, communication system and computer system for its time. You've got the old reel-to-reel system, tape that nobody uses. We've got several lockers across the bottom, number 1 through 5. We have a map of the world, a bunch of Star Trek lights, looks like some oscilloscopes, and so on. On the other side, we have some more lockers. We've got the Duke HQ at the top. We actually have a telephone. Now that telephone, just for your information, not only goes 0 to 9, but it actually doesn't even go 0. It goes 1 to 9 and then 10, 11, 12. I'm not sure the last time I saw a 10, 11, 12 on a telephone, but he is Duke the dog, so it might be easier. This looks like over here, this is his, this looks like Duke's food machine, where I guess it gives him food. I don't know if anybody lives in this house with Duke, and I don't really care, to be honest with you. I don't really know what else you can do, but I'll give you a quick peek over here of my other Duke, which I have. Here's another Duke, and he actually has this rescue rig, and these pieces with the wires will plug into this rescue rig with batteries, and when you turn it on, which I don't know where the switch is right now, and I only have one hand to do it, you can light the flashlight, you can set off the light. There's there's other parts inside there. It's pretty cool. This hooks onto his back and Duke can pull it. Just incidentally, this happens to be the Gabriel Lassie. That's right, Gabriel Marks, the same makers of the Lone Ranger figures that we see over there, are actually, this was the Lassie figure. They made a smaller version. They also made one that came with a dog, but we're not here to talk about Lassie. We're talking about Duke. And incidentally, for those of you who didn't know, Lassie from the TV show, the black and white and the, I guess I had the color version at one point, was a boy, not a girl. It was a male dog. So there's Duke doing his action pose and so on. So there's our famous record player. All right, so that's what we have. That's pretty cool. Love the Duke the dog. Duke the dog. I think it's a pretty cool play set for what it looks like. It's not really durable, and I don't know how any kid could have this and would ever survive. That cardboard and styrofoam will probably be broken in less than a day. So not the best idea. It was lightweight, easy to carry and put together. It's quick, but definitely not something a child, I think, would really, really, really be able to use for a long time, which is probably why you're going to find them in really great shape or not find them at all. So I'm happy to have it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and like. Peace out, bitches.